Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Athletics Weekly. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined this week by the head coach of the Valpo baseball program, Brian Schmack, as we talk Beacon baseball and we look back at this past weekend in Nashville against Belmont and talk about the season overall. And Coach, the first thing that comes to mind about the season is the way that Connor Lockwood has pitched. He leads the league in strikeouts. He leads the league in innings. What's made him so effective for you over the course of the season, and how's he able to so consistently pitch deep in games?
Yeah, well, first of all, he's a competitor, right? He wants the baseball, and I think in today's day and age, where there's a lot more focus on, I think training, he does a really good job of just competing, and that's all we're asking for our guys, right? Is to compete between the lines and really not outside of them. He just does a good job of that. Aside from the fact that he throws strikes, he's got very good pitchability. He believes in himself. Those all go together and make him kind of what he is, but. He's a competitor, and again, we'll take 27 of those guys, right? And he's the one that gives us a chance every day that he's on the mound.
Speaking of pitching, this past weekend, Harry Delianis on Saturday, complete game, and then Spencer Boynton, a strong start on Sunday. What'd you see from those guys this weekend at Belmont?
Yeah, a ton of strikes, right? And that's the ability to to throw pitches that aren't fastballs in the zone, and they both did a really good job of that too. And they both showed that, right? I mean, Harry's had some games they lost 2-1 as well, and obviously the 1-0 this week. Spencer's had some games where he's throwing the ball over the plate. He has favorable results, right? And that being able to mix like that. So we know those guys both have that in that. And when Locke gives you a good start on the weekend, I think those two guys, want to better that, and that's what you start to see from those guys is they're doing a good job of is trying to one up the other guy. And anytime you have that internal competition with each other and that staff, usually the results can be favorable.
You touched on the one-run games when talking about Harry. 7 one-run losses in Valley play. Nearly half of your league losses have come by a single run. On the positive side, you're right there. On the negative side, it's got to be frustrating in some of those close games. How do you wrap your head around it? What do you think's been the difference in some of those one-run games?
Um, Yeah, it's a good question. The difference, right? Oftentimes it's a play here or there that doesn't get made, and when those one-run games are there, the margin for error is so small, especially in a 1-0 or 2-1 game. One mistake can completely flip it, right? Obviously having last at bats obviously helps in those situations as well too, right? We've been walked off a few times, and I think our one win was actually at home, where we got a chance to walk them off. So, I think the lack of home games obviously so far it does hurt, right? It just gives them an advantage right away, but it's making that small play, right? And our defense in the last two games was incredible, right? And it's no surprise that you lose 1-0 when you play error-free baseball. In Lockwood's game on Friday, we made 3 errors, and 5 of his 6 runs were unearned, and the game's over. So they go hand in hand, and I think when teams in league play are fairly the same, very similar in terms of ability. Often, who makes the less mistakes usually ends up winning.
And we talked about the good pitching. Belmont pitched it well this weekend, so you have to give them credit as well. But what do you need to do going forward from an offensive standpoint to get going at the plate?
Yeah, I think we just need to, they were great. I mean, they really pitched well. Whatever their plan was, they executed it really well and obviously favorable. But I think for us, and I've said before, I think we're as good as the pitches we swing at. And I think just because we saw a fastball we would swing at, it didn't matter where it was. Oftentimes we would take fastballs early to get behind in that count. So I think it's just a combination of understanding what you can hit for one, and then also putting a good swing on balls in the zone. That's usually what it comes down to. And some of the older teams in the league that have had success against us, we're really good at that, and I think we need to continue to strive to still be able to do that a little bit better. Just make sure that the pitches we're swinging at are the ones that we actually want to, and not the ones that we feel like we're forced to.
Basically, any team's going to feel the absence of their best offensive player, and Ryan Maka's been out with an injury. How significant or tough of a loss has that been to overcome, and how's he progressing?
Yeah, it's obviously huge, right? Anytime you've got a guy with that kind of presence in the lineup, obviously his numbers were good to start off, and you lose that production right away. I think also the way that they pitch the guys before and after him is affected as well, right? Because of what he may or may not bring to the lineup. So it's been a big impact. There's no doubt about it. He's progressing well. We hopefully, you got 3 weeks left of the conference season to go, and we may get him back for maybe the last two, right? You're hoping it's not too late in that capacity, and then his presence can be felt, and he just has a boost to the lineup. You feel for him as well because he's a senior, right? I mean, you want him to obviously go out on top feeling good about it. You don't want him to be, on the bench with a cast in his hand when his career comes to an end. So, you feel for the kid on a personal level, but also what he can do to the team too.
Weekend, you'll have your annual alumni tailgate game on Saturday against UIC. How much fun has it been over the years to see alumni come back and to still want to be a part of your program after graduation?
Yeah, always fun, right? Those are my two favorite events: is the alumni game, the golf outing, right, where we have a huge contingency of alumni that come back, and it's just fun to hear the old stories and guys that had fun and the successes they all shared individually, personally, whatever it may be, collectively. It's good to hear the old stories and kind of rehash some of those memories. So we always look forward to that.
There he is, the head coach of the Valpo baseball program, Brian Schmack. Road game at Western Michigan midweek on Tuesday, and a three-game series hosting UIC in Valley Play. Coming out to Emory G. Bauer Field, 3 o'clock on Friday, 1 o'clock Saturday, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Talk to you again next time on Valpo Athletics Weekly, presented by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.